Canada is deporting nearly 400 people every single week right now. And for a lot of people, that number is coming as a shock. Because for years, Canada has been known as one of the most immigration-friendly countries in the world. The message has always been that Canada needs more people, more workers, more students, more immigrants to help grow the economy. And honestly, the country opened its doors very wide over the past few years. International students arrived in huge numbers. Temporary foreign workers increased. Visitor visas increased. Refugee claims increased. Canada's population started growing incredibly fast, faster than most developed countries. But now, the tone is changing. A lot of temporary permits are starting to expire, and the government is increasing deportations to levels Canada hasn't seen in over a decade. And suddenly, immigration is becoming one of the biggest conversations in the country. Not because people suddenly hate immigration, but because everyday life in Canada is becoming much harder for a lot of people. Housing costs have exploded. Rent prices have shot up. Buying a home now feels impossible for many young Canadians. Even finding a family doctor has become difficult in some areas. And as all of this happened at the same time as rapid population growth, people naturally started connecting the two. Now, to be fair, immigration alone didn't create these problems. Canada already had housing shortages. Healthcare systems were already under pressure. Construction wasn't keeping up with population growth. But when millions of new temporary residents entered the country within a short period of time, it absolutely put more pressure on housing, transportation, healthcare, and jobs. And that's where this conversation becomes emotional. Because depending on who you ask, Canada either allowed too many people in too quickly, or the country simply failed to prepare properly for the growth it wanted. Meanwhile, the actual deportation process is much slower than most people think. A lot of people assume someone loses status and immediately gets removed from the country. That's usually not how it works. Some cases take months, others take years. There are hearings, appeals, refugee claims, legal reviews, humanitarian applications, and paperwork involving other countries. Some people leave voluntarily after their permits expire. Others remain in the system for long periods while their cases are processed. And even at nearly 400 deportations per week, many people believe that number is still relatively small compared to the overall number of temporary residents currently inside Canada. That's why this story feels bigger than just deportations. It feels like Canada is trying to rebalance something. Because for a long time, the focus was almost entirely on growth. Bring in more workers, bring in more students, grow the economy, increase the population. But now the conversation is shifting toward questions like, can housing keep up? Can infrastructure keep up? Can healthcare keep up? Can wages keep up? And honestly, these are questions a lot of countries are asking right now, not just Canada. What makes Canada different is how quickly everything changed. Just a few years ago, immigration was barely controversial in Canada. Now, it's one of the most debated topics in the entire country. And yet, most Canadians still support immigration overall. The real debate now seems to be about speed, scale, and whether the country has the capacity to handle rapid population growth without lowering quality of life. Because at the end of the day, this story really isn't just about deportations. It's about a country trying to figure out where the balance is between economic growth, immigration, and the realities people are experiencing in everyday life.